Shore Consulting is a Mexican-based executive search firm. 60% of our work, and the reason we started a firm here in Dallas, is to work with our multinationals that have operations in Mexico and Latin America. So when I first came on board, when we started the group, that's primarily what we've been doing. It just made sense as we progressed. We've been here now 3.5 years. As we progressed, that we get involved in recruiting for diversity in the United States. So I would say now it's a 60-40 split, and we're really broadening our scope here in the United States to recruit Hispanics for companies. And the best way to do it in terms of recruiting is to put Hispanics on boards, because that's where the power is, in the boards. Two areas that are probably most pronounced when you're dealing with a Hispanic candidate. One is you always have to take into consideration that family's the most important thing. And that certainly comes into play when you're trying to relocate a candidate. And also you have to take into play that Hispanics can be humble. And when I send a candidate out to interview with one of my clients, humility is not what I need. I need them to be boastful and be happy about their successes, truthful, but happy about their successes. First, when I interview with them, I assess it, because sometimes I don't want to necessarily go right into it knowing that they're not that way. But I just bring it to their attention, and I remind them it's okay to be proud. And this is particularly very important when you're dealing with Latinas, to get them to be proud of what they're doing. Then also one of the things I like to do when I'm interviewing Hispanic candidates is I like to talk about their family. As best I can, I like to talk about their family and maybe some of the sacrifices their parents might have had to get them where they are. Because I would say in 80% of the cases, the parents have made a great deal of sacrifice, and they have a number of siblings. Well, not so much in the case of Hispanic males, but in the case of Hispanic females, there has been some difficulty in getting them to relocate. There's a lot of Hispanic females in Texas that I have tried to help companies recruit them to leave, and typically their family's here and they will not leave. And they're just as talented, and probably in many cases much more talented than their contemporary Hispanic males. So that's been some of the challenges. When I had a meeting at the White House, that was one of the things we discussed, was that they were interested in recruiting Latinas, and that was the difficulty they were having. Well, I think if we can get more Latinas and Latins to go out of state for school and get them going to the Ivy Leagues, I think we're probably going to have better luck. I think the families will get used to the fact that their children are now going to school, and it's the best interest of them, for them and for the family. And I think that's what will help. So to answer your question, yes, I think it's going to continue to be a problem. The economy is a problem too. A lot of Hispanics can't afford those schools. And a lot of Hispanics aren't familiar with the scholarship programs and the grant programs. And I just think it's a matter of education and getting them moving to these places of higher education that can give them the power they need to move the whole group on. I don't think it's so far off if it was properly managed. I think if we could get some significant players, and there probably are some significant players out there that went to the Ivy Leagues, start speaking out about it, they'll raise the comfort level. To be quite frank, I think it is a matter of not being boastful. And in some cases, I don't know if the Hispanics that, quote, have made it have that sense of commitment to the greater Hispanic group. It'd be interesting to see. Things that might be an inspiration to younger Hispanics is that I think that the group under 35 and under, I think, feels that there is a responsibility to move Hispanics along. And I think that there's those 20-year-olds are out there thinking, I'm going to do it. And I think they should just set their mind to that's what they're going to do. And also, I think another important matter is I think Hispanics need to, as we all do, need to think globally. Think of it as mainstream. Not only is it important to move along and getting Hispanics on boards or getting Fortune 1000s more attuned to hiring C-level Hispanics, but think of themselves as global executives. So they're in the running right along. So not only are they helping their group, but also that they need to think globally. We're all over the internet. If you Google, if you search Shore Consulting or Google recruiting for Latins or recruiting in Latin America, or even I would say recruit farmers. If you put in the word pharmaceuticals, you'll see Shore Consulting come up. Some of the programs we've done with some of the pharmaceutical groups. One of my goals is in the next 18 months that I'll place 2 significant players on boards and make sure that those candidates that get on the boards know that they have a responsibility. And they're out there. It would be great to have a Latino and a Latin. Get those 2 out there. I think that kids, Hispanic kids will say, hey, I can do that too.